Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Bench Lifting the Fat Kid. Then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned. I have violated the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of the people, and so I gave in to them. 1 Samuel 15:24. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it probably will. There'll be things you did that years later still make you cringe with shame. For me, that cringe goes up for a guy I haven't seen since 6th grade. Bob was new at school and just happened to be the heaviest kid in the class. Not just pudgy, but fat. Not just fat, huge. Naturally, he was the target of many a joke, but somehow he kept a sheepish grin on his face through them all. Lunchtime was the worst for poor Bob, and the few kids that sat near him taunted him with such questions as, Hey Bob, how many kindergarteners have you eaten today? Or didn't anyone tell you that there's more to life than Twinkies, Bobbler? Doomed to eat alone, inevitably, he was like kryptonite in the friend market. One day, we found Bob sitting in the hall, and before the clever Bobbler jokes began, I decided to get a good laugh out of the guy. So I ran over to Bob and called, $5 to anyone who can lift Bob off the ground for 10 seconds. I then tried to pick him up, exaggerating the extreme exertion it would take. My ingenious wit prompted peals of laughter, with several of the students falling to the floor holding their stomachs. Then I turned and looked at Bob, really looked at him. His face was red, but not with anger, red with embarrassment and sadness. My heart silently broke. I never apologized. I still want to. Peer pressure and the desire to fit in can make us do things we're not proud of, but we do them because of our need to be liked. Israel's first king fell prey to the same thing when he went to war. Saul was told not to take anything as plunder, not even livestock. And when his soldiers brought back the best of the oxen and cattle, instead of standing up to them, Saul caved in and did what they wanted him to do. Then he lied to the prophet Samuel about it. This eventually cost him the loss of his throne to a young man named David. In the end, Saul knew good and well that peer pressure is just not worth it. Sure, it's important to be liked and accepted, but sometimes the cost is too great. So don't give in to the things that you know good and well aren't right. You might end up like me, years later still wishing you could apologize to poor Bob. May God bless you today.